Do you know that when you're playing, you're doing something that it's fun, your learning just skyrockets and you learn much more than when you're sitting in a classroom listening to a presenter or reading some slides on a screen? That's right. Gamification is the answer to avoid boring courses, boring training programs, and low engagement in your audience. So let's learn about gamification today. The first question that we should ask ourselves is, what is gamification? And gamification is the application of game-based mechanics, aesthetics, and game thinking to engage people, to motivate action, and to promote learning through game playing activities. That's gamification, and it's easy to do. However, most people think that gamification is very complicated, it's something complex, but it's not so. You can do it, we can do it, everybody can do it with just a little bit of design. Now, I'm going to talk about 5 reasons why you should use gamification in your training and learning programs. Reason number 1, through gamification, you can create and generate interaction in your participants. And most of us have been to boring training sessions where the instructor just reads and presents slide after slide. And what happens is that we start to get bored, we lose our attention wanders, and then learning doesn't happen. With gamification, you can catch your participants' attention, because when you're playing, when you're doing something fun, that it's engaging, you immerse yourself into that activity and all your attention is there. So you interact more with the content material, you interact more with other participants, and you interact more with the instructor. And remember, learning is driven by interaction. The more you interact, the more you learn. So it's very important for us to generate interaction, to create that interaction, to apply gamification techniques. Reason number 2, gamification allows us to overcome disengagement. It's very common now to see the participants with their cell phones or chatting with somebody else, or like this kid, lost in thought or lost in space, as I like to say, when they're spaced out and they're not learning, they're not listening to you, they're not learning. So it's very important that we overcome that disengagement. One of the primary focuses of gamification is to create engagement. As I was saying before, when you're immersed, fully participating in a gaming activity, in a play situation, in a fun activity, your attention is 100% in that activity. And even though you consciously don't think you're learning just skyrockets. And it's very important to understand that. That's reason number 2, overcome disengagement. The third reason is that gamification gives us an opportunity for deep thought and reflection. What happens when we work with adults? Most of the time, adults are under stress or pressure. They have many activities they have to carry out, many tasks. They have a gigantic to-do list. and they're stressed out. When you're in a gaming situation, you are able to release that stress. And when you release that stress, what happens is that you are able to concentrate and think about your situation outside the gaming situation with a clear head, with a different mindset, and it allows you to do things that you didn't think are possible, to view things in a different way. And that's one of the wonderful advantages of using gamification. And that's reason number 3 why you should use it in your training programs. Gamification creates a positive change in behavior. And this is proven. This is nothing that it's mumbo jumbo or something esoteric. They've done studies where people that participate in positive gaming activities, where they work together in a positive environment, after the gaming activities, they are able, their behavior changes in a positive way. And one wonderful experiment that they did was they planned a gaming activity, and some of the participants were passengers in a helicopter ride, and the other participants were superheroes. Yes, two different roles. One passenger and the other playing superheroes. And what happened? After the activity, after it had finished, one of the researchers accidentally dropped some pencils on the floor. And amazingly, none of the participants that had been helicopter passengers in the activity helped pick up the pencils, while all of the participants that had played the role of a superhero helped the researcher pick up all the pencils. That's the kind of results that you can get when you apply positive gaming activities in your learning programs. So that's reason number 4 to include gamification in all your programs. And finally, reason number 5. Gaming and simulation is the best way outside of the real thing to get authentic practice in a situation as similar as the real thing as possible. And this is very important. That's why when you want to learn how to manage your finances, you can play the cash flow game by Robert Kiyosaki. Wonderful learning experience. And you play and have fun, and then you learn how to manage your finances. That's why airline pilots, go through simulators so that they can learn in different situations and circumstances what to do outside of a real situation, a real life situation. And that's why paramedics do these games and situations and simulations where they have to rescue people, because that's the way they can learn the real way to respond in an emergency. And let me tell you, Ruth and I are scuba diving instructors, certified scuba diving instructors. And when we started learning, we had to learn how to give CPR, cardiopulmonary, CPR resurrection. And one of the things is you have to compress the chest cavity in a certain way to supplement the pumping of the heart, because the heart has stopped in a cardiac arrest victim. So what you learn, you practice, and we thought that we were doing it correctly until we were able to use one of these dummies that they have at the Red Cross. And we learned and we saw that the pressure that we were applying when we were doing our exercises was not enough to pump the heart. So you had to put much more pressure in your compressions. So in order for the heart to pump the blood through the body. And the only way that we could learn that was through a simulation with a dummy that was designed specifically to teach CPR. And that's why simulation and gaming are so important in learning activities. If you want to learn more about what we do, how we can help you, visit our site at maxandruthtraining.com or click the links below that you will find in the description. I'm sure that you will find something that can help you be a better instructor. And of course, you can learn more about gamification. Thank you and see you in the next video.